It seems no lead is safe in the NFL. We've seen many historic comebacks over the years. So here's the 7 best comebacks in NFL history. Number 1. The 2022 Vikings versus the Colts. The week before Christmas, the Vikings hosted the Colts as 3.5-point favorites. The Colts struggled all season, deciding to replace head coach Frank Reich with former offensive lineman Jeff Saturday. Meanwhile, the Vikings were 10-3 and cruising to an NFC North title. However, the Colts had a huge lead 33-0 at halftime. It seemed as though all the expected regression for Minnesota was finally coming to fruition all at once. At halftime, the Vikings' estimated chance of beating the Colts was 0.4%. However, the Vikings outscored the Colts 36-3 between the 8-minute and 22-second mark in the third quarter and 2 minutes left and 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter and forced overtime. In overtime, the Vikings completed the biggest comeback in NFL history. Number 2. 1993 Buffalo Bills versus the Houston Oilers. The Bills made history with stood as the largest comeback from behind win in league history until the Vikings topped it last year. It still stands as the biggest playoff comeback win of all time. The Oilers had a 28-3 halftime lead and were up 35-3 in the early third quarter before everything fell apart. Frank Reich, now the Panthers head coach, was filling in for the typical starting quarterback Jim Kelly and had the best performance of his career, with 289 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Houston quarterback Warren Moon also played a good game, with 371 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. It wasn't enough to keep his team from surrendering the massive lead. What makes this game even crazier is that the Bills lost to the Oilers 27-3 in the final week of the regular season. Number 3. The San Francisco 49ers versus New Orleans Saints in 1980. The 49ers started the season 3-0, but they quickly turned into a 5-0 record. The expectation was that a home game against the 0-13 Saints team would be a great get-right spot for the team. However, the Saints beat a 35-7 halftime lead behind quarterback Archie Manning, leading 5 touchdown drives. The 49ers had just 2 first downs in the first half. However, everything changed in the second half as Joe Montana was making his 6th start of his NFL career. He threw for 285 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dwight Clark was on the receiving end of the play of the game, a 71-yard catch-and-run play on the crossing pattern in the third quarter. Linville Elliott had his best NFL performance with 125 rushing yards, 91 which came on the team's final 2 touchdown drives. The 49ers finished the season just 6-10. But that comeback win over the Saints was the highlight of Montana's young career and helped him set the foundation for becoming one of the best passers in NFL history. Number 4. The 2013 Colts versus the Kansas City Chiefs. In his second year as a starter and second playoff appearance, Andrew Luck delivered the signature win of his electric but short career. Luck, the former number 1 overall pick, had a poor showing in his playoff debut as a rookie, and was off to yet another slow start against the Kansas City Chiefs, forcing throws and ending with 3 interceptions. His second of 3 interceptions on the first play of the second half put Alex Smith in position to throw his 4th touchdown of the game and put the Chiefs up 38-10. Then suddenly, a flip switch for the Colts after that score, as Luck finished with 443 passing yards, the second most in franchise playoff history, and 4 touchdown passes. T.Y. Hilton broke the franchise playoff record with 13 catches for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. Number 5. The 2023 Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Los Angeles Chargers. 2 of the 5 biggest comebacks in NFL history came during the most recent season, and this one was just as memorable as the Vikings' 33-point comeback against the Colts. In a playoff game that promised offensive fireworks between the 2 rising stars and Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence, but that was not the case early on. Lawrence, who was making his playoff debut, had an awful start, with 4 first-half interceptions as the Chargers built a 27 lead late in the second quarter. However, Lawrence's confidence somehow never wavered, as he turned things around and threw 4 straight touchdown passes to 4 different players. The Jaguars were the first team to win a playoff game with a turnover differential of -5 or worse. Number 6. 1997 Buffalo Bills versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Bills trailed the Colts 26-0 just before halftime, as 4 Kerry Blanchard field goals in the second quarter gave his team what felt like an insurmountable lead. The Bills entered the game 1-2 and needed a win to jumpstart their season, while the Colts, who ended the year 3-13, were 0-3 to begin the season. Jim Harbaugh, whose coaching career has been more successful than his playing career, didn't have the firepower to match 275 passing yards and 2 touchdowns from Todd Collins. Rookie Antoine Smith finished with 129 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Number 7. We all know about this one. The 2017 Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons. While the Patriots' 25-point comeback in the Super Bowl is only the 7th largest comeback of all time, it's the most famous and is an undeniable part of the Lord Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. After a scoreless first quarter, the Falcons made a surprising 21-3 halftime lead and included an 82-yard pick six for Robert Alford and put things in dire straits. The lead would balloon to 28-3 in the third quarter. That set up a 28-3 third quarter deficit for the Patriots to overcome. Tom Brady calmly led the Patriots on 5 straight scoring drives and 31 straight points. James White had 139 yards for scrimmage, 3 touchdowns, and a 2-point conversion.